Hey, this is Russ. I got to thinking, there's no real good place to live. Now, with all the things that have happened recently, snow in Texas, loss of power, places out in Louisiana have gotten issues. There's no real perfect place to live, all right? And as I'm getting older, I start thinking, if I retire, where would I live? Where would I go? Okay. Now, you know that I've lived in San Diego, and of course, I've lived in the Chicago area. So those are the only two places I've lived. But I've traveled to different places, for vacations or for business or for whatever. Okay. So it got me thinking, is there a place that's really great to live? Now, this is probably going to open a can of worms because if you're from the various parts of the country, you're going to say that, no, where I live is perfect to live at, right? Everyone feels that, okay? Or maybe you don't feel that. Maybe you feel it's time to get out. Let me talk about my area to live, all right? Let's talk about the Chicago area. Illinois does not have the greatest reputation for government. Let's put it that way. We've had governors who end up in prison, okay? We've had corruption. We've had high taxes. Oh, man, Illinois taxes are something else, okay? But I'm still here, right? So you have to kind of wonder. And then let's talk about San Diego, because you know that I've lived in San Diego for about 8 years, okay? Now, that's a great place, right? Why did you leave San Diego? Why would you go back to Chicago, okay? Well, there's every place you go to, there's an issue somewhere, okay? So let's talk about the various issues, okay? San Diego, I would say, is a nice place. But have you ever gone through an earthquake? Okay? California's got earthquakes, right? And many of them are mild, quite frankly. It rumbles a little bit, shake for a few seconds, and you're done, okay? But I recall being in San Diego one year, and the earthquake hit. I was in the shower, and for some strange reason, it seemed many times I'm either in my bed or in the shower when this happens, okay? So this earthquake starts happening. I'm in the shower. I feel this shaking, okay? I finish my shower, I get out, and I go downstairs, and I can see the chandelier in our dining room area moving. I could see the pictures on the walls rattling, okay? Now you would think, okay, it's over and done with after a few seconds, it's no big deal. But this thing kept coming with aftershocks, okay? And it really kind of is unnerving. Now, I know that my wife and daughter had gone back to the Chicago area to visit family. I was out there myself. I actually started thinking, should I be in the house? Should I go out into the street? What if the house falls down on me? Okay. These aftershocks lasted the whole day. Yeah, it kind of kept coming. So it's a little unnerving. So even though great climate and everything in San Diego, lots of things to do. I mean, we had SeaWorld and all these places you can go, and you're right by the ocean. It's not ideal. There's things that becomes difficult to live in. Okay, and I think the earthquakes was the thing that it would have been hard for me to deal with. But yeah, right on the ocean. I love fishing. I did, here's another interesting thing. I didn't like fishing that much when I was in California. I kind of regret it, man. I was right there by the ocean. I could have been fishing every day, but no, I didn't get that interest until after I moved back to Chicago. So, okay. What about Chicago? Okay. What's great and bad about Chicago? Well, Chicago doesn't have a whole lot of things to do, in my opinion, when it's during the winter. At San Diego, we used to go to SeaWorld all the time. We'd get seasons passes, and on days we didn't have anything to do, we'd go to SeaWorld. We'd hang out there, see some shows, walk around. I mean, we knew the park so well. We knew the ins and outs of there. We knew the timing of the shows. We could literally jump in on any show anytime we wanted and have great seats because we knew how to work the system. We knew the back roads of the park. We knew where to go when people won't be where, and so yeah, that was kind of cool. Chicago has some interesting things, definitely down at the downtown areas, or if you go to the museums. But after that, not a whole lot. Okay, we don't get earthquakes. But we do have the possibility of tornadoes, but in the areas that we are at, we don't have much tornadoes. But, on the outlying areas surrounding Chicago, yeah, you can get tornadoes and things. So there's issues, right? We get snow. That could be dangerous too, okay? But I've learned to live with snow. I've learned to live with it my entire life, so I'm kind of used to that. What about other areas? There's other areas that are more interesting to be at. How about Hawaii? If I retired, what if I went to Hawaii? Well, can you even afford Hawaii? That's pretty expensive, right? But I remember going on a vacation to Hawaii, and I said, wow, this would be great to live out on a tropical island. Yeah, I'd probably be out on Maui or something like that. Sit out in Maui and take it easy. But again, I know that I would miss the big city too. So that's not that good. How about Vegas? Okay, I have a buddy who has a home out in Vegas. He's here, but he also has a second home out in Vegas. Well, okay, housing may not be so bad there, but there's other things that cost you a lot of money. Okay. I mean, really, besides the casinos and stuff, what else is there to do? I guess you can see shows, but man, that's expensive. Lots of buffets, but not anymore. And when they did have the buffets, those things are pretty expensive. Okay. So maybe that's not that ideal. What about Arizona? Okay. Everyone talks about Arizona. Well, it's hot out there. The humidity's not so bad. Okay. But man, that's hot. It's hot and dry. I don't know. No, I don't think I would be able to do that. My folks moved to Florida when they retired. Unfortunately, my mom and dad are no longer with us, but they moved to Florida after we all got married. But I've been to Florida, and it's hot and humid, so I don't think I can handle that. Okay, and if you live along the coastline areas, they get hit. They've got weather that could be damaging. Things happen, right? So no matter where you go, there's an issue somewhere, okay? Tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, snowstorms, tsunamis, you name it, there's always something, right? So really, is it the best place to be is where you're at? Maybe it is. Sometimes it is, right? Let me turn this alarm thing off here. Oh, I'm reaching over. Okay, there you go. Yeah, cooking something on the stove, and I always put a little alarm to remind myself to check it. Right in the middle of the video. How do you like that? So anyways, think about it. How about where you're living? Okay, put a comment below. Tell me if your area is the place to live. All right, or is there something about the where you're living is not as good either? Is there natural things that would say, yeah, it's not worth living here, or maybe your taxes are too high, or cost of living's too high. What about the place where you are? Is it a good place to go to? Let me know. Not that I would move there, but you never can tell. Oh, okay. Here's one more thing. Being Asian too. All right. I know that I would miss having a Chinatown around. Yeah, that's for sure. I think I would miss if I didn't have access to good Chinese food immediately. I would miss that. I've been to San Francisco many times. It's kind of cool to be there because almost everywhere I go, there's a good Chinese restaurant somewhere. Okay. But yeah, you ever been to San Francisco? Gee whiz, up and down the hills. I can't drive that. Yeah, I had to drive it several times and a little scary. Okay. And I got a bad knee. How am I going to deal with that going up and down the hills? I tried taking my scooter once up and down the hills. I had to push that thing a couple of blocks because it wouldn't go up the hill. Some of those hills are very steep. If you've never been in San Francisco, take a look at some photos. Okay, it's pretty hilly. Yeah, it's pretty bad. So there's no perfect place. Tell me about your place. Is your place the best place to live? Why is that? Okay, and being Asian, okay, you have to kind of look at the things that are happening now in today's world. A lot of Asians are being discriminated against, and I'm not going to go into this whole political thing about the Asians and stuff, but being that I am not Caucasian, let's say, those are factors that we kind of think about sometimes. Will we be accepted where we're at? It's really a reality for us. It's it's not something to just not think about wherever you end up moving. Okay, where we are, Chicago area has quite a few Asians, but not heavily populated like San Francisco or something like that. But I think many of us are accepted being there. And of course, I was born here in the United States, so to me, the U.S. is my home. But sometimes you don't feel that. Sometimes you do get discriminated against, and I experienced that many times as I was growing up too. So, anyways, so it's getting to be a downer of a video. Make a comment below. Tell me why it's good to live where you're living, or what about your area is not so good to be at. Let me know that. Anyways, if you liked the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will talk to you guys next time.